Hello! Just a brief introduction here. I know this isn't the usual jingle you hear. Today's episode is going to be going back to our archives once again, to one of our more popular episodes that had nearly 4 times the listenership of some of our typical episodes. So I thought this one would be a great one to bring out, dust off. And this episode in particular will be dealing with, this is formerly episode 38, deals with ways you can learn about your Echo, ironically enough, on your Echo. So obviously our podcast is one thing, but we're going to look at several other podcasts that might be able to give you feedback and resources to learn about your Amazon Echo. And so without any further ado, we thank you for your listenership. About to break 50,000 listens. We ask that if you'd like to continue to support us, feel free to subscribe to our podcast, and or if you're interested in sponsorship opportunities, feel free to email us at info@goodwillvalleys.com. All right, without any further ado, let's go back to that episode 38. Welcome to the Echo Tips episode number 38. We appreciate you here listening to our Echo Tips podcast, and in today's episode we're going to be dealing with the subject of resources that are available for you to learn more about your Amazon Echo. So Echo resources that could help you teach you, learn different things about your Echo, and things that come out all the time, maybe something brand new. How do you learn about that? Or even about skills and things like that. So before we get too deep in the weeds there with learning about your Amazon Echo and what you can do and where you can go to find out more, we're going to go to a brief message about our podcast. This episode is brought to you by the New Vision program at Goodwill. We're also grateful for the kind use of WVTF Studios. New Vision is a program of Goodwill that provides information services and assistive technology training to individuals with visual impairments living in Southwest Virginia. Goodwill Industries of the Valleys is a nonprofit organization serving the New River, Roanoke, and Shenandoah Valleys of Virginia. Goodwill's mission services help individuals with disabilities and disadvantages to get back to work and gain greater independence. These shows are provided for educational purposes. This podcast may not be retransmitted, sold, or reproduced without written permission from New Vision. All right, it's good to have you back with us here. If you're new to listening to our podcast, I'm David Board, an assistive technology instructor with the New Vision program at Goodwill Industries of the Valleys, based here in Southwest Virginia and the Roanoke Valley. So in particular, as we outlined earlier, our podcast today is going to be dealing with learning about those resources that teach you about your Amazon Echo. And there's a lot of different resources. Of course, our podcast is one, but different ways that you can learn. And before I get into that too much, it'd be good for you to press the microphone button on your Amazon Echo. It's got a little silhouetted microphone with a slash through it. Just in case, that way, if I'm saying the name, your Echo won't be triggered. Especially if you're listening to using that to listen to this tutorial, we don't want you to interrupt that. So just locate that, and when you press it, it'll make a sound, and a little red ring will appear around the edge, and you'll be good to go. Now, if it's one with a screen on it, and the screen's facing you, the button will be on the top left edge of that, and it'll put a little red bar at the bottom of the screen. That tells you that she's not going to respond to her name as well. Okay, so I'll just give you a moment to do that, and then we'll press on. Okay, so in particular, just kind of flash back to Season 1, Episode 16, we talked about flash briefings, and we also talked about podcast a little bit there, and even this season we mentioned a little bit about podcasts. So all of those are good resources that where some of this content, these resources I'm going to be talking about here in just a moment, are also available in either in podcast format or even as a daily flash briefing. So you get kind of like a regular update. So in the genre of podcast resources, that is on demand, like educational programming, like our podcast, there's other resources as well. I'm not the only one in this genre doing this. And in fact, one of them is a friend of mine. He's out of the United Kingdom. His name's Robin, and he does the Dot to Dot podcast. Now, Robin's geared a little differently. We're going to go to a little sample demo kind of about his podcast here in just a minute. But before I do that, the Dot to Dot podcast that he does is also kind of nuggetized. It's very short, simple, but he kind of focuses mostly on skills. Skills that are like apps, but instead of apps that you run on your smartphone or tablet, they're kind of like apps that you run on your Echo. So in season 1, we talked about the Bible app skill. We've talked about WebMD, a lot of cool skills like that. So about Robin's podcast, Dot to Dot, he's also one of several. In addition to ours, there's also the Voice of Canada that talks about using your Echo. But first off, let's show you real quick how you can play Robin's show. And he almost releases a show, I think, almost every day of the week. So he's got a lot of content out there. I think he's in 700 plus episodes. But you would simply say, Alexa, play Dot to Dot podcast.
Getting the latest episode of Dot to Dot. Here it is from TuneIn.
Dot to Dot. Now connected.
Hello guys, so it's been 6 weeks since
Alexa,
the beginning of the 100
stop.
push-ups challenge.
Oh boy, sounds like he's doing an exercise skill. Okay, not too sure I'd enjoy that much. But anyway, so you'll have to check that out. I just say play Dot to Dot podcast. Now I'm going to go to here in just a moment. In fact, we'll go to that segment right now, a little audio segment from Robin.
Dot to Dot.
So many skills to cover.
Welcome to Zork. Zork is a game of adventure, danger, and low country.
Alexa, open radio cabin pressure.
Please keep your mobile phone switched off for the duration of the flight. Obviously, they have no effect whatsoever on our navigational equipment, but they drive me up the wall. Thank you, and enjoy your flight.
Alexa, open Bosch.
There you are. I was just looking for you. Want to start from the beginning or head straight to the missing girl's apartment?
A daily podcast just isn't enough. Open Relax Me.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now slowly release.
I've been sabotaged. Play Jeopardy.
This is Jeopardy!
Thanks, John.
Awaken the Tyrannosaurus Rex. Ooh. Alexa, play Himalaya Sounds.
Dot to Dot. The podcast for everyone who's dotty about Alexa.
Well, that might give you a little hint for Robin. We appreciate him giving us that little segment where you can learn more about your Amazon Echo. In our next show, we're going to be dealing with another interesting subject, and that is about placing phone calls. Now, we did address that in our first season, but there's been some changes since then, so we want to talk a little more about that and those additions that might make it easier for you to enable the phone calling feature in your Amazon Echo. Until then, you'll want to turn your microphone back on and start practicing some of the many things that you've learned today. And I'm David Ward for the New Vision program at Goodwill Industries of the Valleys, and we thank you for listening.
Thanks, Dave. In conclusion, let me tell you a thing or two. This episode is brought to you by New Vision at Goodwill Industries of the Valleys, and it is also made possible in part by a grant from Community Foundation serving Western Virginia. And there's more. We're also grateful for the kind use of WVTF Studios. New Vision is a program of Goodwill that provides information services and assistive technology training to individuals with visual impairments living in Southwest Virginia. For more information, check out our website at goodwillvalleys.com/newvision, with no spaces. Goodwill Industries of the Valleys is a nonprofit organization serving the New River, Roanoke, and Shenandoah Valleys of Virginia. Goodwill's mission programs help individuals with disabilities and disadvantages to get back to work and gain greater independence. These shows are provided for educational purposes. This podcast may not be retransmitted, sold, or reproduced without written permission from New Vision. Thanks for listening.